without further ado, I'll present myself. So I'm Adama Abdoul, technical consultant at Manage Engine. And today we are here to talk about something that is very important. We are going to talk about identities. So how many people here know about identities? It's just a question? Okay. So we will say that identity is just a unique identifier of, let's say, for entities within a system. And then today, I will show you the table of contents. So the presentation is going to break down in mainly on one part, but divided into two parts, let's say like this. So it will be mainly focused on identities, but in those identities, we'll talk about first users, and then we'll talk about at the end, the endpoint. So as Jyoti did the introduction, so we're going to jump into it. So before going to the identities, we would like to see something, one stat that is very impressive, very interesting. So there is one reporter, so that Global Threat Reporter Index, that came out with a report, and that report says that we can see Nigeria moved from the 35th place to 30th place in terms of most vulnerable country in the world. So it is in the world. And then the normalized risk index of the country has moved from almost 46% to 62%. So this is very huge. And to go even further, we have Ethiopia that is also, that occupied the first place, about the country as most vulnerable country to cyber attack. So we have the source here. So this is a report from the 20th of Jan 2025. So let's jump in it. We have the state of IT. So what is the state of IT now? So before, at the beginning of the presentation, we saw that we talk about digital transformation. So in the digital transformation, we can see that organizations are moving to everything that is online, all the services that is online. So we have the tax system that are being implemented online. We have also the healthcare, personal data, and also we have the banking, the account number, and all that are moving online. So this gives an expand attack surface, so the attacker can exploit that. So we are not saying that this is a cons, it is a pro. But even if it's a pro, we need to take care of about that. So this expand the attack surface, where digital shift expand attack surface has increased. So here we have an example where you can see that in 2024, we have in South Africa, we have more than 1,450 attacks per week. This is not per years, this is per week. So this is something that we need to take care of. So we see now the consequences of cybersecurity breaches. So let's say that you don't secure your environment, you are moving all your services online. So how will all the consequences, or what are the consequences you can face? So here we have also the financial losses. So if you don't have such, let's say, you don't take care of your data, you will find that you have some penalties that you need to pay. And we talked today about compliance and all. So you have some financial that you have to pay. And then we have the operational disruption, where all the system will be down, and so this will stop you from working and will increase again all the breaches. And then we have also the data exposure and threat. So if we have the data exposure and threat, so that means that we have the loss of sensitive data, where people are going to, or the attackers are going to have access to your data and all. So they will find, or they will see all your data. Then we have loss of public trust. So let's take an example, a bank. So if a bank does not provide a good service, so people will lose the trust and then go to the concurrent. After that, we have the top threat facing by organization. So what are the main threats that organizations face? We have first of all, the weak identity and access control, where today it's only the password that we are using. Why not applying some level of authentication or some level of permission so that people don't have access easily to your data? So you need to challenge your users or your identities. And then we have also insecure input. So insecure input means that you don't have the latest patches, you have more vulnerabilities in the environment, so you need to take care about that. Also insider threat, as Jyoti mentioned. So we have inside our organization, people or users are also a threat for us. So we need to apply some level of authentication or of security. So we have to apply something that we call the zero trust. So never trust, always verify. And then we have we have the social engineering threat, where people try to trick your users or your insider users, so that they play also with the emotional effect, so that they can have access to the data, those critical data. So we have the phishing, we have smishing, vishing, tailgating. So the phishing is just email phishing. Vishing, this is for the voice. So the voice, they call the users and then try to play with the users and get some data. So we are tailgating. So the tailgating is just that someone that is following a person or your employee that is let's say is authorized in the organization. So some people are trying to follow those people to have access to the environment. So after that, we'll talk now about the foundation. So why now identities have become the new perimeter. So why you need to secure your identities. So here we can see that in the model IT landscape, we can see that we have what we call today remote control. We are moving on the cloud computing and all. So people don't need to go to work every time, because from everywhere you can have access to your data. So you need to know that the identities is the new perimeter. What you need to secure first before going to another instance. So we have a small put here that I've put. So in the era of cloud and remote work, the identity of the user becomes the new perimeter. So after that, we have the identity security challenges. So what are the challenges we might face if we don't secure the identities? So first of all, we have the identity sprawl. So where today we have more identities everywhere. There are more duplication of identities of users in the organization. So this can lead to what we call also orphan account. So orphan account is just that an account or a user that is no longer in the premises, but it still have an active account in the environment. So this can lead also to a threat, or this can also be a threat for your organization. Then we have the overprivileged access, where you give all the access or leave more access to the users. So let's take an example. If you have a house servant in your organization or in your house, she only needs to have access to the kitchen. No need to give her the key of the car or no, because this is not her job. She doesn't drive. So here you need to give the less privilege to your users. And then we have the weak authentication practices, where we don't implement what we call the MFI and all. And also we talk today about the SSO, where we can have access from one platform, and you have the access from one platform, and then it will connect you to all the resources that you have. And then we have the lack of visibility and auditing, because you don't see what your users or what your identities are doing in the environment. So that's led to you don't have a visibility about what they are doing. You don't know anything about what is happening in the environment.